When a litter of Dalmatian puppies are abducted by the minions of Cruella Deville, the parents must find them before she uses them for diabolical fashions.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with
Michelle,
Andre,
Luis,
and me, Emily. We're a family-friendly podcast where we pick a new Disney movie each week. We watch it, share our thoughts, and then relate it to pop culture, fandoms, and anything else that pops into our heads. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 31.
hi.
All right. This week we're talking about
La Loteria.
no.
101 Dalmatians.
Yay!
All 101 of them.
There's a lot of dogs.
They eat canine crunchies.
That was funny. I like that.
You
I like
guys,
that.
you guys voted.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's been a day, you guys.
It's been a week.
We're all a
Definitely
little.
been a week.
We're all a little
The point
punch
is,
drunk.
Movies that we voted on this week involved dogs, and they were like all within one vote of each other.
It was
Yeah,
very close.
Extremely close.
Close dog
But
race.
Apparently, the Dalmatians are the superior breed.
Oh, right.
Yup.
You guys had me real worried that I
Yep.
was going to have to watch The Fox and the Hound. I was
I was
very
so
upset.
scared because at first it was like Fox and the Hound, Fox and the Hound, Fox and the Hound. I was like, no.
I like the Fox and the Hound.
You know what?
Doesn't mean I don't like it. I just didn't want to cry this week. I'm already like.
I don't
rare.
like Lady and the Tramp.
I don't necessarily remember the actual movie. Just
Right.
the like. This is the night.
Which one has
like
the weird
scene.
Siamese cats?
I remember Spaghetti and
Yes.
Siamese Cats.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Lady and the Tramp.
I've
I was-
never seen The Fox and the Hound, but I kind of wanted that one to win because then
Me
I would have
too.
had the best battle ever.
Well, you'll have
Well,
to.
you
save
Can't
it
tell
for
us
when
Yeah.
we
what it
watch
is. We're going to eventually have to watch it.
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll get to
Sorry.
it.
He's over here totally
we'll
ready to
get
battle.
back to you in 2 years now.
All right. In between then, everybody out there better watch every single episode of Pokemon.
Oh, I know what the
What?
battle is. Yeah, you have
Oh,
to you have
okay.
to be on Luis's level of
Yeah.
caring about Ash and his Pokemon.
Maybe if you can guess the battle, we'll give you a button. I don't know.
If you can guess
Battle
the battle,
for
we
a
don't have to watch Fox and the Hound.
No,
Go.
hey.
Yay!
Nah,
if
we
you
need
guess
to
the battle,
watch
you
it.
don't have to watch all the episodes of Pokemon.
Next time, the vote's going to be Fox and the Hound, Homeward Bound, just all the sad dog movies.
No, I won't. I
Old
won't.
Yeller.
I will.
That's Disney, right?
Yeah.
What about that live action one called Max about the dog in Iraq? Is that
I don't
one?
think
that's
Disney.
not
I'm
Disney.
I've never been happier that something isn't a Disney movie.
Okay.
No.
What year did this movie come out?
This movie came out in
This dog movie.
1961.
Okay, so my first impression of this movie was I was very excited because I loved watching 101 Dalmatians as a kid, but I didn't watch the animated version. I watched the live action.
The Glenn Close
Glenn
version.
Close.
Yes, which is brilliant. I love that version.
101
But I
Dalmatians.
also
Pretty
really-
sure I watched that in the theaters as a kid and
I
dug
might
it.
have as well.
and it has a sequel too.
102 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
Is it called 102?
Yeah, it
Shut
is.
up.
And I absolutely love those live
They
actions
added a
growing up. So
Dalmatian.
I was like excited to go back and watch the original. Rolly's my spirit animal. There we go.
Hashtag
Oh, Rolly.
always
Snack.
snacking.
Mom, I'm hungry.
It was kind of like
Hungry.
I'm still hungry.
it kind of like pulled at my heartstrings a little. Like feed your kid.
Mama, I'm hungry.
Nah, you see
There's
that
only
dog?
15 of
They
us.
fed that kid. I don't
He
know what
wanted
else
more.
they
Have
want.
you seen
Hungry.
me? I still want more too. It's fine.
He's
That's-
straight up Oliver Twist
Rolly
over
has
here.
been stealing all of Lucky's food. I'm telling you right now.
For sure.
He is digging into other bowls. You know what I'm saying?
What's your first impression, Andre?
Oh my gosh.
I liked this movie a lot. It was actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I didn't remember a lot of it. Like I thought that I knew the story, but it turns out that all I knew was the Roger is my pet. Cruella Deville's there mean, and Perdita births the puppies, and Pongo and Roger are both like, oh my god, there's so
Yeah.
many puppies in here.
Stop making him Owen Wilson.
Oh wow, look at all those puppies.
I'm with you there, Andre. I thought I knew the story, but you know, when she only popped out 15 puppies, I was like, no,
I
she
was
had
so
99.
confused. Okay, my
Your
first
first
impression
impression.
was same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't only think of the same things you thought of, but I thought I knew the story and remembered there's Dalmatians.
Guess she didn't have 99.
I kept thinking to myself, where are the
Where are
other
the rest of the puppies?
70-something or 80-something puppies? And
76.
and that they went to, I remember they got kidnapped and then they went to like her manor and that it was dilapidated. But I didn't think she lived there, so I was really confused as to how that got there.
I think the
Right.
reason I'm so confused is because in the live action, there are that many puppies, and then she does steal them all and like takes them back to her very lavish mansion.
Like
Okay.
And so
one
I was like,
pair of
what?
dogs has that many puppies?
Well, that's why I was confused about
I don't
how that
remember
labor
that
was
part.
going
Mm.
so easily. Like, oh,
Dang, girl.
she's doing really good.
Maybe
Well,
this is the episode when we should have done a double
Double
feature,
header,
live
because I
action
need to
and
know.
Let us know
animated.
if you guys want us to do one of those double features. Luis, what's your first impression?
I like this movie because it had a very kind of like Lost Generations type of view or feel, and you know, if any of you aren't too familiar with that, Lost Generations are, you know, this whole movement with like artists and musicians, you know, after World War I, in between like in, you know, 1920s to about like the 1930s, where all they really cared about was just trying to figure out what the world meant and the music behind it. But it mostly felt like that to me because of the music. So let me just end my first impression there. It was mostly because of the music. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the main owner, Pongo's pet,
Yeah, Roger.
Roger, he kind of reminded me of that because all he really did was just sit up there, play his music, not care about anything else except
Playing.
Okay,
Speaking of
we need to go
Roger,
into him. I have a whole paragraph written about Roger
I
Radcliffe.
love
Roger.
Roger. You know why? Roger reminds me so much of Andre.
Oh.
He's just being silly.
No,
Doing
he's not
silly
Andre.
things. Yes, he is.
No,
doing
Roger's
silly
cool.
Things.
Hey! I'm right here.
Andre's cool too.
How dare-
They're both really
Emily
skinny and
Deville.
lanky.
Hey.
Emily Deville.
Stop.
That's
Ooh.
not
That
how
is not
you
even-
pronounce it.
But Roger,
Emily
I have
Deville.
3 syllables in my
But
first name.
somebody-
hashtag Disney dad right there.
Hashtag
Roger's
Disney
a
dad.
Disney dad. Okay, Emily, do it.
Okay.
Do your
Technically,
thing.
no kids. All right.
He
He
has
has dog
99 puppies
Don't
and
you
2
call yourself a
full-grown
dog
dogs.
And they're
dad?
all of his pet.
Whatever.
He's their pet.
He's
Their
got lots
dog
of
dad.
parents. So this is what I wrote. Chillin', musical hipster, sick flat with cool windows. Right? Those windows, though.
Uh-huh.
He has a cool style, always smoking that pipe, totally makes fun of Cruella and turns it into a hip song that goes on the radio.
And he
dude.
got a bunch of money off
Oh,
that song.
Got
No.
paid.
And we'll talk about the song Cruella Deville in a bit, I'm
'Cause
sure.
it's a
I don't want
jam.
to I don't need to get into it quite yet because I'll go off, but he is the most relatable to me. Most relatable person on screen in a movie we've seen this
He
far.
literally reminds me so much of Andre. Just like the scene where Cruella Deville comes in and his wife is all like, oh, about her. And he just starts freaking going upstairs writing an evil song about her. That's something Andre would do.
Okay, well,
Dang.
okay.
That was good.
We'll get into it then. He is literally trying to, excuse my language, I'll monitor myself. He's trying to annoy her to leave.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he's like stomping and playing the piano and trumpeting. I
So
literally
funny.
tromboning. I thought I was going to die.
It was so
Tromboning.
funny, right?
That is pure genius
When
because
he banged
usually
his foot on the floor, it was I lost it.
And as soon as she left, he just started singing about her.
Mhm. As soon as the door closed, Cruella, Cruella Deville.
when have you really gotten a good character where the Disney character is smart enough to know that the other character is evil that
Right,
fast?
yeah.
Like usually it takes some time to lead up. Like I'm sorry.
There's something funny about that
Like,
Cruella Deville.
No, he straight up is like,
He's
she's the
"Ugh,
worst.
Get that devil woman out of here.
I hate your childhood friend.
Her
She's
name's
awful.
literally Cruella Deville. Come on, people.
Cruella
I think my
is the
favorite thing,
devil.
my favorite thing about Roger is when him and Pongo are just like waiting, like when Perdita's having the babies, and then the lady
in the
comes
waiting
up,
room.
and they're just waiting, and he's like, "You rascal!" Like he's always calling him a rascal, especially when all 99 pups came back. He was like, "You
Right, yeah.
rascal."
He was pretty
I
sure
was
they
like,
were all
he did
his.
not do that. Like they're the best. And I think that's another thing I really, really like about this movie is like the dog owner relationship. I mean, all dog movies are like that. The dogs kind of look like their owners and they act like the owners. But like, I guess let's get into Pongo. Like the opening where Pongo is like, "This is my human pet and he needs a mate." And
I
he's
did
just
not remember
going
that
through this whole
Pongo-
thing about how to get his human pet a mate. I'm like, you go, Pongo.
I didn't remember Pongo narrating.
The realest wingman.
I think that might be because of the live action movie. Because in the live action movie,
They don't talk.
The
They're just
dogs don't
dogs.
talk. They're just
Yeah.
dogs. Yeah. So I
I
think
wonder if I'm
I'm like
hardly
mixing them in my
up
brain.
then.
Yeah.
But it was funny because when he started, I totally thought it was Roger talking, like as my adult brain was thinking, like, oh, it's going to be Roger, and then he's like, oh, you know, this bachelor's life, it's so completely dull, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this.
I was like, Pongo is so British. It
Oh,
was
Pongo and
dry
Perdita are the cutest dog couple in the world.
So cute. I can't.
Their parent goals, dog goals.
Well, and then so he's being all British over here, like this is dull and everything. He starts checking out the babes on the street.
He
The
does.
babes.
It's so
He's
funny.
literally
Not that
checking
one.
out all the babes.
He's like, ugh.
Not that one. Ooh, that one's fancy.
Oh, this one's fat though. The poodle.
Too fancy. It was just good. It was good. Everything about this was
Yes.
much better than I expected.
Right.
I think I was expecting to like it well enough, but
it was a lot more
good.
fun than I remembered it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And,
for sure.
and I mean, obviously, Pongo and Perdita are like so cool. Just their names are cool, like Pongo and Perdita. That's like so fancy sounding. But Rolly, though,
Are we just gonna
to
go back
Rolly.
to Rolly?
we're back to
Roman?
Rolly. Let's talk about who's each favorite puppy is. Mine is Rolly. He's chunky. He's got rolls. He likes food. I think the only thing that comes out of his mouth is, "But Mama, I'm hungry." Like I think that's all he says.
Yep.
Which
I'm
is
hungry, mother.
And I'm-
hungry.
And
And
he's
I'm
the
pretty
cutest
sure-
of the puppies. He just want to snuggle in.
No, he's not the cutest of
Yes,
the
he
puppies.
is.
No,
I'm so
he's
hungry
not.
I could eat a whole elephant.
Pretty sure they just kept repeating the same like recorded
Mama, I'm
piece.
hungry.
Mama, I'm hungry. Mama, I'm hungry.
Did you bring me anything to eat?
But that's why it was so funny. He was so cute. But second best would go to Patch.
Patch is my fave.
Why? 'Cause he has a
all
patch.
he watches is TV.
Yes, he does.
The big
He just
spotted
sits
eye
in
dog.
front of the
Yes.
TV, even when they're trying to escape from villains.
Totally Louise.
I mean,
as a dog.
they were playing What's That Crime on the TV.
I don't watch TV.
What's that
I
crime?
watch TV.
You don't watch TV, Louise?
I watch soccer.
So,
You
so
also
he's
watch
Patch.
Football is cold in England.
What else does he watch?
Pokemon,
Yeah,
all the
so?
episodes of Pokemon.
Flash,
The Flash.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No.
Luke Cage, Daredevil,
No.
Jessica
Peaky
Jones.
Blinders.
The Peaky Blinders. You be watching the Peaky Blinders,
He's
don't you give me
laughing
that?
right now. Who's your favorite pup?
I thought you were gonna say Peaky Blinder.
Who's
your
your
favorite
favorite
blinder?
Blinder?
Let me
Every
talk about
Peaky
Tommy.
Blinder.
Sherlock
I think that will
Holmes.
have to be Arthur.
Okay, no, the
that's your
dog.
favorite
Dog. What's your
please.
favorite dog?
Well, if there's a puppy in one of those 99 pups named Arthur, then it'd be him.
What about the other dogs? I pictured Louis saying that he liked the border collie, or not the border collie, the colonel.
The
I don't know
Colonel
what
was
he
hecka
is.
Nah, I
funny.
kind of like the Great Dane. He was very majestic.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was
And
cool.
he
He had
was
a
on
very
top
good
of it.
bark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Like
did.
he's
Yeah.
who I want to be in charge of my neighborhood watch.
This is a Great Dane bark.
When you yes, thank you for that. She even stood up like she got
Puffed
a-
out her chest.
Ooh. I liked the Great Dane. Definitely like the picture on your neighborhood watch sign.
Yes.
Like, that is the dog.
Yes.
Yeah, change it from that dude in the hat to this Great Dane.
You know what? As a kid, I always thought the neighborhood watch sign was supposed to be the person that was watching, and then as an adult, I realized it was the criminal
That's definitely
that
the
you're
creepy
watching.
person.
That's why it never made any
He's got
sense.
a big
Why you
old
gotta
Yeah.
trench coat on.
Tell me why that the neighborhood watch like shadow kind of could potentially look like McGruff
The crime dog.
The crime dog.
Oh my goodness.
But with a hat.
Have you guys seen the commercial that's out right now with
I think
dog
it's a
McGruff.
Geico commercial or something where McGruff comes and he's working at a police station.
this
and
is
there's
his favorite
This
thing
is a
right
crossover commercial.
Yeah, and there's these two guys that are like, veteran detectives and stuff. And then he
now?
co-
Hold on, not animated. This
No,
is
no,
like
no.
live.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, real life. But the only thing that's animated is McGruff.
Okay.
Okay. So he
Goodness
comes in
gracious.
and he's like, "Look, guys, I think I found our next lead for the case." and then they're like, "Oh, did my girl find the Kloofy Woofy? Oh yeah, he did. He found the Kloofy Woofy." And then my girl just gets PO'd and just drops the stuff on the ground and walks away.
Wow, that's
Literally
amazing.
every time Louis sees this commercial, it might be only because we watch Fox Sports, because that's the only place he sees it. But literally every time it comes on, he's like, "Get in here! It's my girl!"
We
That's
need
so
to
funny.
post that one on the podcast.
I want to see
crying.
this. I want to see this commercial.
I
very
don't know. I
badly.
think of the non-Dalmatian dogs, though. I like the border collie because he went out and he tried to find them in the friggin' snow, and he was like, "I just got a whole." He was like a little down-home country dog. He's like, "I got a whole bomb ready for you guys."
I like the little yappy one.
Of course
Oh,
you do.
yappy
The
one.
one that hangs out with the Great Dane.
Oh, jeez.
What's happening? What's happening?
What's going on out there?
I love that.
Well, I know this is going to be weird because I'm not a cat person, but actually one of my favorite characters was the cat.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
the cat was doing more than the colonel. Let's
Definitely.
be real.
Making moves, yeah.
The cat, but he was cute because you could tell he was like militant, trying to like keep
Right.
his life together.
Yes,
and
sir.
Yes, colonel. Yes, colonel. Even
Very
the horse
cute.
is doing more than the colonel. Let's
Yes.
be real.
Sergeant Tibbs.
Gosh.
Sergeant Tibbs. Sarge.
They're cute. And the hound dog and the goose, I kind of got flashbacks to
Oh my gosh.
another
The
kitty
Aristocats.
cat movie we watched.
I got so many flashbacks from Aristocats.
Yeah.
Did you
We
feel
just-
similar
yeah.
vibes from the movie?
And I think it's what we talked about. Disney animals are just like,
Mhm.
I almost think of Disney animals how I think of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe and then the Marvel comic book universe. There's like the Disney cinematic animals. Like they're in their own universe.
Right.
They're all doing their thing, and that's why they all look alike. And you get so many flashbacks to like
Yeah.
other animal movies.
Definitely. The goose was very much like the marinated uncle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basted. What was he?
Marinated.
Whatever he was.
Marinated. Hilarious. But let's get to the woman of the hour, not Roger's wife, Miss Cruella Deville,
Oh.
who is one of my favorite villains to see in the parks. If you haven't seen her in the parks, you have to go visit her. 'Cause
Okay.
she's so funny.
I've got to say something before we start.
She's ugly.
A little.
A little free. She
A
looks
little.
like Yzma. Okay, it's off my
She's
chest.
a mess.
Yeah.
I liked her less in the movie than I thought I would.
Yep.
Ah.
Yep. I was going to say the same thing.
Is that weird?
So, but the thing is, because how I think of Cruella is the live action Cruella, and she is fabulous. Like, she's got her red heels and her fur coats, and she's very eccentric and all this. Honestly, Cruella doesn't talk too much in this movie. She kind of yells a lot.
She's
She does
just
a lot of
very.
She's just like,
she's
"Give
like
me the puppies."
She's a mad woman.
Right. She's
Yeah.
insane.
Like legitimately, like there's
psychotic.
no funniness
Yes.
to me.
So how I think of Cruella is this like lavish,
Mm-hmm.
high class lady, which is how she is, like in the parks and
Yeah.
in just everywhere else. But in this movie, I agree with you. She
literally
didn't get
was,
me
like, insane.
excited. I was like, "Girl, you crazy?" She just
She,
crashing
like-
her car everywhere.
She like impressed me with how much I hated her, you know,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
like
for sure.
because like
Nasty.
she's like smoking all over the house and then like ashing into her teacup and stuff
So
like that. I was
awful.
like, oh my, get this lady out of my house.
Exactly. She was
So
awful.
mad.
She was, but her song is good.
Oh, well, but again, another villain that doesn't sing.
Right. This song only has.
She's
or
one
this
of the
song.
villains
This
who
movie only
doesn't
has
do
two
much.
songs.
Yeah.
Which is funny because as a kid, if you asked me who my favorite villain was, I would say it was Cruella, but I almost think it's because I liked the song about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Well, and like you said, though, I think that I have a very different view of her because every time that I've seen her, especially in Disneyland, she's funny mean.
Right.
And this is not funny mean. And I'm okay with it. It's just I
She's
was
like evil me.
yes, she's just straight evil.
Yeah.
Not even like flair for the dramatics mean. She's just
Right.
dramatically awful.
Yeah.
You know? And I do the one thing that she did that was really funny though, besides the mean like dumping her, what do you call that? Flicking her,
Uh-huh.
Her ash.
ashes into things, was when she was like, You have to be a better driver. The cops I can't even say it. She's like driving next to Jasper and Horace, and she's like, "You gotta get your head in the game, or the cops are gonna get you." And she like peels out, and, like hits things. And you're like, "Dude,
She
you are the
literally
worst."
has like
She's
a Mad Max car
literally
by the end of the
Mr.
movie.
Toad. Like, she is a terrible driver. Get out of here. Cruella, you're not Mr. Toad.
The one
okay?
the one thing that I laughed at the hardest that Cruella did was when she slapped both of her henchmen
Oh,
like really
Andre
hard.
literally
I was
went
dying.
"Bah," like he laughed out loud. I was like, "Calm down, sir," because she literally just like was like snap out of it. She threw her stuff down and was like bang, bang, just smacked him.
I wrote down Cruella slapped the crap out of both of her henchmen, and then the next bullet I wrote, I love her now.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Not really sure, but it's fantastic.
Gosh. So I think this is our perfect transition into music.
Hold on, but we had a question. Louis had a question that he wrote it down, and I kind of don't know. I think I have an answer, but I'm not sure, so we're going to pose it.
Okay.
So Cruella was crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was so fixated on the puppies because she wanted the fur,
Yes.
Spotted coat.
right? Did she want all the fur for herself? Was she going to sell them?
Oh, I assumed that she was going to sell them. I wrote down like,
That's what
how
Louis
much
was
is
saying.
she getting for these furs? Like,
I
is
assumed
it,
she was
is
going
it like
to sell them because
$1,000
she
per baby
said,
dog?
like they were like, we're only going to get 6 coats because they're not big enough, and she was like, I don't care, let's go. I
thought she wanted them for herself.
I think
So,
she would have
interesting.
kept one for herself, but I think she was trying to sell them.
Well,
In
because
the-
why would you need 99
Right.
puppies? That's ridiculous.
Well, in the live action, she got a whole room stacked to the brim with fur coats, so they were probably all for her then. But I think in this one, she was going to sell.
I couldn't really tell. That was a good question though, Lou, because I was kind of like, I didn't really know what the answer
I think
to
she
that
would have
was.
kept one for herself, but
I would think it's also for profit.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
both. I think she definitely chop up all those little puppies, rip off their skins, and then sell.
why did you have to say it like that?
He's
Sell-
trying to make it like silly, like it's not the first thing you
sell
ever
the
heard.
majority of them, and then make a couple of coats for herself.
Maybe she has it out
A
with
coat
like
and a hat,
maybe
you know?
she has like loan sharks after her or something, so she needs the money, and that's why she's so crazy.
Maybe.
Again, no backstory.
Need to know.
Right. Nah, if she had loan sharks out there, she'd probably have them murdered or something like that, right?
She'd just be like, I got henchmen, y'all.
Right.
If
exactly.
she doesn't scare ya, no evil thing will. Well,
True.
she freaking scary, that's for sure.
The
Even her
singer
She's
is
like a
little
spider
sudden
waiting for the
chill.
kill.
Oh, it's good.
Cruella Deville.
Oh, and I did write down in my notes, she makes fun of the house and Roger in front of Anita. Like,
Right.
she's like, your house sucks. Your husband sucks. You
Yeah,
have
she
dogs that suck.
I don't understand why Anita tolerates this person at all.
They said
So
they went
awful.
to college together or something. It
They
was
were
like,
probably sorority sisters. I will tell you.
Quite honestly.
I have to.
Don't you ever bring any woman like that
When
into our
have
home. She will be.
have not.
I won't just make up a funny song about her. I will kick her out. You got to go.
Had never done such things.
This kind of reminds me of some of the people we went to high school with too. That's why none of us be going to no what do you call it?
Reunion?
High school reunion.
Yeah, no,
Because me
reunion.
and Andre would be walking around being like,
Ugh.
"You
Nah, nah,
Cruella, you Cruella,
Nah.
All of y'all Cruella.
you Ursula, girl, you straight Maleficent. I hate you.
Ooh,
You're
I wanna
cool.
be
You
friends with
Mufasa.
You cool. No, you got that scar thing going on. Like you dead, but you're not. You still kind of funny.
Right.
You good.
You make a good throw rug.
Oh my god.
Ooh. I just thought I would throw it out there.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I love that song so much, and I want to say Roger wrote it, but like he didn't write it. He wrote it in the movie, but he didn't write it. I was gonna be like,
What?
Roger, that was a great song you made. Thanks so
Roger
much,
Radcliffe
Roger.
didn't write the Cruella Deville,
No,
the song
he did.
that we all know and
He
love.
wrote it.
I think you did.
He wrote it.
You know what I really liked was that he said melody first and then the lyrics. I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty cool because a lot of times I think that when people, think about these types of songs that they do think of the lyrics first. Like they're trying to write a song about a character. But in this one, you can tell like it was good and jazzy for the time period and he just was able to make fun of her with it.
It
You know
was
what I mean? That
perfect.
was really cool.
I'm reading about the music right now, and it says that Mel Levin composed the music and lyrics, and he proposed the final song that got used in the film was created at a 45 minutes before he pitched it to Walt.
Amazing.
Amazing. Incredible.
I even like the Dalmatian Plantation one. It made me want to shake my booty.
Oh, that is the second.
We'll have
so hold
a
on,
Dalmatian Plantation.
is that the song that's used in the opening credits then, just with no lyrics?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I didn't notice
which
that.
I like. And I don't know what it is, but throughout the score, throughout the movies, there's a certain like jingle, and I don't know I can't sing it in my head right now, but it happened multiple times throughout the score where it was like this line of melody or jingle, whatever you want to call it, was so nostalgic to me. And I don't know if I've heard it in the parks, if I've heard it like in a specific place, but there was something from the score that every time I heard it, I was like, ugh. Like,
Well,
I got
I'll
like a
tell
little
you.
chill.
I'll tell you, I felt the same way, and I don't know if it was like what you're saying, but I kept thinking about the Aristocats. And it's because I think I've
Maybe
seen
that's
that
why.
more, and it just was very similar to
Right.
me. And I don't know if it was exactly the same, but a lot of times I kept thinking like, oh, this reminds me of that. And I know it's the animation
Yeah.
style,
Yeah.
and also that it's animals and their owners
Yeah.
and that kind of thing too.
True.
But it was, I felt that way as well.
And I want to say maybe I've like heard it in the parks or something like that, but the music in this is fabulous. I especially, one of my favorite scenes, and it's kind of completely different. Like, we just watched Beauty and the Beast, which only came out 2 years before this.
The live
Beauty
action
and the
Beauty
Beast.
and the
I'm
Beast.
sorry, Sleeping Beauty.
Oh.
Sorry,
can't
I
even
was
talk.
confused.
Right,
I
yeah.
was
It's
going
late,
to
guys,
let you
I
go
can't
where you were
talk.
going.
So we
Just watch
watched
Beauty and the Beast.
Sleeping Beauty,
Andre
which
even
was
said
just,
right.
yeah, he was like, of course.
yeah, yeah,
Of course
yeah.
you would
Watch
agree
that.
with me. I'm his lady. Anyway.
Yeah.
She's
So
always right.
Sleeping Beauty came out 2 years before this, and that intro was very like, here's an old book, and let's open it and start telling a story. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but this,
Stop telling a
the
story.
intro of this,
Was so good.
it reminded me of Monsters Inc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
how there was things moving. I was like, wow, I like this intro. I actually want to watch this intro. I don't know if this was one of the first movies that did that. Like, let's have interesting things going on.
Versus just a
Fun.
panned
Right.
like a wall.
Yeah.
Like a watercolor. You know what I mean?
I literally wrote, love the beginning with the spots, probably the most interesting
So
opening credits thus
cool.
far.
Yeah.
Isn't it so cool?
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me so much of Monsters, Inc.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
actually was very reminiscent. Oh, I mean, obviously, this would have been the
Monsters
predecessor.
Inc. is reminiscent of this. Yeah, yeah.
That's much the predecessor, but it's
With the jazzy music, too.
the jazziness. I liked how it went between. Like, at first, I thought it was just going to stay with the spots, because the spots kept
Right.
doing things. But then, like, Pongo was drawn, and then his head was moving, and then
It
the
was
puppies were running
very
across.
good.
It just was really interesting. I thought it was a
Like,
great use
I
of
would
animation.
watch the movie again just to watch the intro. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I actually, like, thoroughly enjoyed that.
I agree. That was very cool.
You should
And
look
even the
stuff.
version we watched of this was, like, super blurry, and I still liked it. I was like, whoa.
Oh, you watched a
Yeah,
blurry
like
version?
like
yeah,
a
we got
old-
kind of a blurry version.
old VHS kind of.
We got
Jimmy
a
Jam.
whack.
You should have asked me how
It's
I got
whack.
my nice version. I would have told you.
Oh.
Gosh darn it. That's
Gosh
okay.
and darn it.
Gosh
and darn.
it.
Anywho,
It's okay. Does this movie even have any Easter eggs?
it actually has quite a few.
What?
But before we get there, can I talk about
Okay.
something else?
Yes.
Okay, not that y'all have ever been through the birthing process, and I'm not going to get in the
Yikes.
ins and outs of it, but
I
here's
have
the
not.
deal. It literally was exactly like the hospital. Like, especially for the time period. The dude's outside the door,
Uh-huh.
the nanny walking back and forth. You can hear noises going on in there. The dad's like, ooh, ooh,
Pongo putting his
you know,
ear up to the door.
It
over
was
and
so
over.
cute.
It was
Pongo's
so
the best dad.
precious. And I really I literally like Roger's smoking like a
Right,
clock,
yeah.
right? He's like making the clock noise, and Pongo just so concerned. It was very cute.
Yeah,
I
it was
enjoyed
good.
that. And I don't remember, and it's funny that you said that because now that I'm thinking about it, it's very true, but I do not remember Pongo being so much like Roger and or Roger like Pongo.
Right.
And how most of their mannerisms were exactly the
They're
same.
It was
Very
so
similar.
cute.
Mhm.
That's why I love dog movies, though, because I don't know. Just everything about dog movies is great.
Yes, it was very cute. So you were saying, let's talk.
I think I have
Easter
one.
eggs.
I have one Easter egg. I think I do, but it's just something I noticed, and I don't know if it's an Easter egg.
Okay, tell me.
But on Pongo, is there hidden Mickey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I knew it.
There's
I
a
was
hidden
like,
Mickey.
look, babe, a Mickey.
There's hidden Mickey on actually almost all of the Dalmatians. Apparently.
There
I
is.
saw it on Pongo.
Pongo's is, I think, the most noticeable just because it's on his
It's like on his
chest.
shoulder.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on
like
his-
shouldery chest area. And it's the most kind of distinct. The Mickey, the circles aren't touching, but it's
But
it's
it's
like
a Mickey.
upright
Right.
and it's pretty freaking Mickey.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that either way, no matter which way he's facing,
He has
it's in
it.
the front.
Yeah.
So you can.
He got
like,
two Mickeys.
yeah, he's Mickey. He's Mickified.
He's Mickey.
Mickey. Mickey. But this one's a real Easter egg, and I'm very proud of them for doing this in the 60s. Okay, so what year did Lady and the Tramp come out? Can you tell me real fast?
I can totally tell you the exact
Wasn't this
year
movie made in
that the Lady and the Tramp
61
came out.
This movie came out in 61. Lady and the Tramp was before this.
Mm-hmm.
55? 56?
And
Well,
the
it's funny
Tramp.
because Lady and the Tramp, as you guys know, was one of the movies that we were going to vote on. And the reason I ask when it came out is 55?
55.
So the reason I ask is because there was multiple Easter eggs of Lady and the Tramp in this movie, which is really cool because usually that doesn't happen. So Lady and the Tramp themselves, Lady and what's his
Tramp.
name?
The
He has a
Tramp.
name.
I
El
forgot.
Trump.
El Trumpico. They're both in a scene when
Le
so
Tramp.
Le Tramp.
Le Tramp.
You're right because they're French.
Le
So
Tramp.
in the scene when they're panning across London and you're hearing the midnight bark, right? They're going across. There's a part where you see the fancy. Remember the fancy
fancy poodle?
The fancy poodle. She gets on the top of the car. The car turns and goes down an alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
There's dogs in the street. The dogs are Lady and Scruffy. Scruff.
That's
Yes.
so cool.
So that's really cool. You actually see their outlines, and I have a good picture of it. I'll show you guys.
Cool.
And then in another part, when they're panning, they go by a pet shop. Do you remember that? When they're like howling
Yes, and
and stuff.
all the dogs are barking.
Mm-hmm. Two of the dogs in there were dogs that were in the pound with Lady when she went.
Was it the big bulldog?
bulldog?
I thought they made him stand out very obviously.
So the big bulldog was one,
Got
and
these
then
dogs in London.
I know,
Yeah,
and then the
vacation.
shaggy dog too. There was a
I
shaggy,
love the shaggy dog.
the shaggy like
The,
not the
the Yorkie.
no the shaggy one in the pet shop. So not the
okay.
shaggy like Colonel Sergeant, but the one in the pet
Yeah,
shop.
yeah.
So that was really cool too that they
That
were
is
able to
cool.
bring those. So the
All
hope
of
for
the
this
dogs.
is that they were in the pound in France, and then they were taken to a pet shop to be bought versus.
Oh.
I'm just saying that's my hope for the story. Yep. Mm-hmm.
They all got karate chopped to death. Oh my
Yep.
god, no.
Boom. Here's my question. Here's my question. I didn't think people had nannies unless there were kids in the house. Why did they have a nanny?
I think she was like a nanny / maid.
She was more of a maid than
Okay.
a nanny.
So she was a maid,
Mm-hmm.
and they were poor.
Yeah. Well, okay. There's a difference between
You're like Emily. Just let it be.
There's a difference between like American poor and London poor.
So they weren't below the poverty line then.
In the bell tower. So
Yeah, they definitely weren't living off of welfare and trying to write a wizard's novel.
Right.
So
they
Oh.
weren't that poor.
Well, J.K. Rowling
We're
still made
poor.
it big. So
We still got a nanny. We're not animals, okay? We're not savages.
I'm over here never having a nanny. I'm like, you just said you were poor and what? It's not my kind of poor.
Right?
You guys
she
don't know
works
nothing.
for free.
She
She works
yeah,
for food.
yes.
She works
She
for,
works
For puppies.
She works for puppy
Just
love.
for the love of the pups. You know?
She's
It
volunteering.
was before the puppies were even there, man.
Yeah, it was a Pongo. It was a Perdita there. No, the nanny wasn't there before they were married. Right? No.
I hope not. No,
Yeah.
she wasn't.
That's a-
They were
yeah.
bachelors. You can't be a bachelor with a nanny.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
What?
Sherlock?
No,
She's
she's a
technically-
landlady.
She's the
She's
landlady.
technically a nanny.
She's the
She's
landlord.
Not their
She's
nanny.
She owns the
technically a
building.
nanny.
I believe she says several times, I'm not your nanny.
Exactly. No, she says, "I am not your mother." Straight up, Mrs. It starts with an H. I don't remember.
Hashenworth.
Hanson. H.
Havisham. Haverford.
Anywho,
We'll figure it out later.
Anyway, she has a pretty cool car, though.
you're talking about the most recent version of Sherlock.
Yes.
On the BBC.
Ooh, it's fabulous. Let's not get into that conversation.
no.
I'm going to be talking for days.
Hey, spots. Guess what? There's a lot of them in this movie.
Oh my God, I wrote that down too.
Did you? Did
Yes.
you have the exact number?
6,469,952 black spots in this movie.
Woo!
My question though is
What?
that did someone sit there and count those?
That's what my thing says. It says someone counted all black spots in the movie, frame
No,
by
maybe
frame.
the animators just knew that.
I feel like some Disney
Somebody-
fan out
they
there is
still gotta
totally
count.
ridiculous
Yeah.
and counted that.
Somebody has to have counted that.
They got a movie to make. They don't got time to be counting 6 million spots, right?
6 million. It's not like it was CGI either, where they could be like,
Yeah,
put
in the algorithm for how many spots are in here. No, you got to print out all these pieces
Did
of
they
paper.
count the faded spots under the soot? You know, when the puppies rolled around in the soot? Because I could still see the faded spots.
I couldn't.
I didn't
I
see no
could.
spots either. I don't think they.
What do you got?
animated
Laser
no
vision?
Yes, I
faded
do.
spots.
I also got a laser nose.
Labradors don't have spots. It wouldn't have made sense.
Right.
I could see the spots underneath because they had spots and they just rolled around in the soot.
But I just saw black dogs.
Right.
What?
What you
You
talking
tripping?
about, Willis?
Little puppias.
I'm just telling you that you were watching a blurry vision, so you were seeing the blur, making you think you saw spots.
Nah, I saw some spots.
Nah, you crazy.
Yeah.
You crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of spots in this
Hey,
movie. They
hey.
used a very new kind of animation in this film with Xerox. They used
What?
Xeroxing,
Shut up.
Xeroxology, and whatnot.
Xeroxology.
It was new, and like before this, Walt Disney was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make animated movies anymore. This is a lot of work, and Sleeping Beauty didn't make that much money, and I'm just upset by it. And they were able to use a Xerox camera to put the drawings, like the painted backgrounds, like leave it there and then animate on top of it rather than have to draw it like every single time.
That's super cool.
And that was able to reduce the number of animators from like 500 to like 100.
There was
animators.
not a copy machine before this time.
It's the 60s, baby.
Man.
Type it up again.
With a typewriter.
Sounds like not
No
fun.
backspace button.
No backspace.
Imagine how all those people that were trying to get their masters or PhDs felt when they made a mistake and they had 2 pages to go.
Yep. No Control F. No Control Z.
I don't want to think about that. This is giving me anxiety.
No copy. No paste. Actually, it was copy and paste. You literally had to cut something out and then put glue on another piece of paper and paste it.
What do you think copy and paste meant?
Why you think
That's
they
what
got
it
those
means
scissors
now.
on that icon?
You want to sing the song?
What
Or
song?
shall I?
You shall. I don't know what song I'm singing.
Bum
Oh.
battle. You sing it better than me.
I
didn't know it was
idea
happening
what
yet.
song it was.
Dun 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 battle.
My
Thank
favorite
you.
part is there's like a
That
pause.
sounded so
too.
much better than me.
All right.
Hold on, I have a question. Who am I playing footsie with under the table?
That's
Not me.
Not me.
What?
Sure
It's
ain't.
not me. I'm way over here.
Louise?
It definitely is me.
Oh, okay. I was like, then there is a warm human foot under this table
Alrighty then.
that's not Addie. I don't know.
This
Ew.
week we have in the blue corner the Twilight Bark.
Oh, I like
And in
the
the red
Twilight.
corner, the lighting of beacon towers on the Great Wall of China from Mulan.
Okay, first
Wait a
off,
minute.
Whoa, whoa,
Hang on
whoa,
a second.
whoa, whoa.
Wait,
you
wait.
should have just read the question.
Back
You made
up.
it really
I was trying to make it like a boxing
I understand
match.
what he's saying. I get it.
I'm not there yet. Hit me with it.
Man.
Go
So,
ahead.
Which mode of talk is
Which
better?
form of communication is more efficient? The Twilight Bark from 101 Dalmatians or the lighting of beacon towers on the Great Wall of China from Mulan?
Okay.
Go.
Got it. Well,
Cruella is a worse driver than Mr. Toad. I'm just kidding. That was my
What?
answer.
you created a new battle in your head just now.
Because I can't think right now.
So, mode of communication wise.
What did they use the communication for before? Is because to signal the Huns were coming?
Yeah.
Yes. Danger.
Pretty important.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Um,
faster, but is it efficient if one person falls asleep and then they forget to light their fire?
Did that
Well,
happen
I
in the
suppose
movie?
not,
That
but it didn't
happen
happen.
in the movie.
Oh, okay. Well then.
But
not that big of a
this,
deal. These
is
guys are doing their
quicker.
jobs.
The fire
Because you
is
could-
quicker.
because you can see farther distances,
Yeah.
probably.
But the Twilight Bark is a lot more fun to watch.
Much more.
Yeah, but
fun.
his question was which
I
is
know,
the
no,
more
no, it's fine.
efficient form of communication. Okay.
Yeah. Fire is probably more efficient, but the barking, it was a lot. I like the barking a lot.
I enjoyed the amount and the different types. There was a large diversity of barkage.
Right.
What did he say? He was all rough, something. Like when he
rough,
was like,
snarl, rough.
It
bark.
was most definitely the Morse code. Like,
Yes, I love that. It's this old system that dogs have developed.
And I'll have you know that
communicate.
the entire time the Twilight bark was happening, our dog Dougie was watching TV for the first time in his life. He always sits next to us, and he was like,
He never pays
like
attention
his
to
ears
TV.
were up, and he was watching the TV.
Well, and I think
He was like, "There's puppies, and they're in trouble. There's 100 of them."
exactly.
He
Well,
did only
Cruella
bark
Deville
once,
kidnapped him.
and I forgot what dog it was after, but he did go.
I think it was the Great Dane.
Yeah, he was
Saw it as a
intimidated. He was
challenge.
like, "Excuse me, this is my house. Back
he
up,
was
this is my
like
space."
thoroughly watching the TV. It was so funny.
Well, it's funny because the midnight bark or the twilight bark is a thing that domesticated dogs are known to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we know this. Like you hear
Yeah,
one
you
dog
hear it all the
bark,
time.
another dog goes. But
They just
the
start
idea is
talking.
that it's like they're communicating back and forth.
They have things to discuss.
They have very important things to discuss.
Oh, I know, because as soon as Dougie hears one outside, he's got things to say too.
Right.
So I'm going to tell you, I got real scientific on the answer for this. Are you ready?
Oh,
so,
hit me with it.
because I wanted to know which one was more efficient. So, Twilight Bark, they had come from London.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where they were supposed to have gone? Suffolk, England.
Suffolk.
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 Whatever.
Suffolk.
It's Suffolk. You're probably right, because
There
I
you
was
go.
trying to call it Suffix earlier. Okay, so I did the distance. It's 103 miles from London to Suffolk.
Suffolk.
That would take 1 day and 5 hours worth of walking to get there.
Goodness.
And it went within a nighttime, right?
Yeah.
It was dark the
Yeah.
whole time that they were barking.
True.
But, which is pretty good. I was pretty proud of that. That's a long
Wait,
way.
so you're saying that it would only take 1 day to walk that distance?
1 day and 5 hours continually walking.
Yeah, it took
Right.
No.
dogs a long time to get back
Can't
home.
stop, won't stop.
It was in
Yeah.
the snow and it was...
When they left in the middle of the night, it went through the day and into
And
the
into
night
the next
when
night,
when
yeah.
they got there.
It was
They
pretty...
came back, it was Christmas.
But it was cold. It was winter.
Yeah, it was winter already.
Oh, I thought it had been like months because it came back
Oh,
and it
no,
was
no,
Christmas.
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
think so.
No, it took them... I think it took them a day and a half.
Yeah. His song got on the radio in that time, though.
Boom.
Mhm.
Dang.
That's how things happen back then.
Instant hit.
Okay,
That's
so
what I'm saying.
103 miles.
But isn't that crazy?
That's
103
I did
miles.
not think it was that.
Neither did I. I thought
Far.
it was like outside of London in
Right.
the countryside.
Yeah.
No, it was far. But the lighting of the beacon towers in the Great Wall of China, I looked it up, and it can go 4,100 miles.
Because that's how long the
4,100
wall
miles.
is.
Mm-hmm.
The wall is that long?
See,
How long is the Great Wall of China?
You can see it from space.
long.
4,000 miles?
China is big. Have you seen China?
Well, and you want to know what's really
As
crazy?
big as a country.
Yes.
Not as big as China.
I didn't realize the wall was that big. Wow, I need to go to China.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think it's on my
Wow.
bucket list?
Right.
Here's the deal. When I went to go Google how far London was from Suffolk, it first routed me because that's how my phone does. It routed me from here to London because that's the joke of my life,
Uh-huh.
and that was 5,000 miles from
From
here
to London, like
Yeah.
straight.
Okay, 5,000.
That's
and
across the
What?
entire United States and the Atlantic Ocean.
and the Great Wall was 4,100 miles.
Oh my gosh, I need to
Right?
read a book on the Great Wall. How long did it take them to build this?
I
It's
know.
like the pyramids of Egypt.
We need all the history
And
on
it's
the
so
Great Wall of
funny.
China.
And
Wow.
it's so funny because that's all I did. And I thought to myself, like, I'm going to do more. And I was like, nah, we got to watch Mulan. We're going to be getting all
Right,
kinds of Great
exactly.
Wall info in
You
here.
guys expect some more Great Wall facts
Let's
when we get to
down
Mulan.
to business. Well, this battle is won for sure. From,
Right?
from
Isn't
the-
that crazy,
the
though?
Fire.
So
Thanks
the
for
fire
deciding
is
for
much
me.
more efficient.
Although I
welcome.
did very enjoy watching.
Which
the
one's more
Twilight Bar-
fun?
The Twilight
Yeah.
Bar.
Definitely the bark. But
Hilarious.
efficiency-wise, I'm like, man, they got down that. And it apparently
Dang.
was the most and still could be the most, I mean, not besides calling someone, but very efficient mode of communication. And
That
it was
is crazy.
considered like telegraph
Yeah.
version because you know what it means.
Basically. hmm
Y'all.
Let's play a very long game of telephone.
We all know what the answer is. Boom. Go. Anywho. Thought that was fun. There you go.
So, yeah.
Louis, do you want to answer? Who do you
Efficient
think
fire.
is more efficiencies? Efficiencies. You like that?
It's a hard deliberation. going on
Oh,
in
God. What are you
Luis's
thinking
mind.
about?
What could he be thinking?
I wish you guys could see his face right now.
Because he's trying to
gonna
play
be-
devil's advocate is what he's trying to do.
No, I kind of. Well, you know what? I would have to say
Is it bothering you that I'm taking pictures of you?
yes. It does
It's ruining his concentration.
very much so. I lost my train.
You
of
already
thought.
know your answer.
No, I don't.
Luis.
You know what? Like I was trying to say that as far as efficiency goes, I would have to say I think the dog or the Twilight bark is more efficient, only because I would think that they could communicate with each other faster.
I don't think so.
Fire catchers pretty fast.
Faster?
But here's
my
here's the deal. What is the fire signaling? Hey, yo, come over, let's hang out.
No, the fire means danger.
What kind of danger?
Hun danger.
Huns.
Well, if you want to get technical, if you're
It's not
using
very
the word
specific.
efficient, the Twilight bark can say lots of things,
Right.
and
Yeah.
even though it can be misinterpreted, because at first
But
they
this
think
is what
it was
I'm
going
going
to be
to say. Andre
Puddles.
in his notes wrote, "This is the longest game of telephone ever," and considering they actually got the message all the way across and heard accurately, that's pretty impressive.
efficient.
That's why
So
I
the
think
dog
it is.
might be.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to like figure it out. Like
'Cause-
once danger comes up, because it's not just the Huns, it's for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I
Caribou,
definitely-
jump in the
funny-
wall.
Funny story.
Hey, they stole my fireworks.
Now that we're on the topic of telephone, like it was like the dogs were playing a game of telephone. Played telephone today at work with 6 kids, and it was Captain America likes to eat tacos on Fridays.
Me too.
And they got Captain America is too cute, always on Fridays, which was funny.
Somebody was projecting in there.
How many girls were in that group?
None.
Were all boys?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, well, then I don't know.
Somebody's projecting in there.
I don't know. Well, that was a great battle.
That was a good battle.
Yeah.
We got real scientific. We got out our knowledge
All the knowledge.
and the
Oh,
Googles.
the knowledge.
I will tell you though that I was sitting here and I was reading my notes because I wanted to share my next thing, and I was trying to read this and I didn't understand why it said I love how Poncho and Roger make the same faces.
Poncho. You wrote Poncho?
My phone kept autocorrecting to Poncho instead of Pongo.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, that's really awkward. No, okay. I wish you guys had been here. This is one of the first times where I've had to watch a movie by myself. And it just was the way that this week went because it was the vote and everything. So I was sitting there watching the movie with Addie, and Cruella started laughing maniacally at one point. You know, she does it multiple times.
Yeah,
And
she does
Addie looked at the screen and started going, ha, ha, ha,
Oh,
ha,
no.
ha. Literally, she was maniacally laughing with Cruella Deville.
That's
I don't know.
hilarious.
Created a tiny little monster.
We got tiny little monsters
All
up
we
in
have
this
to
house.
do is dye half of her hair white. She's got plenty.
That
Halloween.
Oh, Cruella did. Addie.
Addie Deville.
Oh,
Cute.
I like it.
So cute.
How many times every episode we're like, now we're going to put her in this outfit. Now we're
That's
gonna
what
put her in
happens
this
when you have
outfit.
kids. She's
Oh,
going to have
God.
like 10 Halloween outfits, costume change every hour.
No, it's very true.
Very high maintenance.
I'm okay with
Very
it.
high maintenance, baby.
One of my favorite lines in this whole movie, though, was about Cruella, even though it wasn't her saying it. It was like the one other random driver on the road that she met. And it was the driver of the truck, which all the puppies jumped into.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she's trying to run him off the road, which now I don't really understand. Like, are you trying to kill the puppies
Right.
while they're in the...
Y'all, you're
Like-
not gonna get all the furs if they're all crushed.
Yeah, I don't
what I'm
know. She got way crazy. She went from 0 to 60 to 700 real fast.
Right.
But he literally was the driver of the truck was like, "You crazy woman drivers!"
Crazy women drivers.
I love it.
That's accurate.
That's where that whole
You know-
stereotype came from. Is from Cruella Deville.
Yes. Started with Cruella.
There you, Cruella.
Thanks a lot,
Cruella.
Cruella.
I just never
not
seen
very
anyone
feminist
that
of you,
committed
Cruella.
to first. I've just never seen anyone that
Cruella.
Right.
into it.
Well, spots are in.
I guess.
Spots are in.
Stripes are out.
You know what I thought at one point.
We've been watching too much series of unfortunate events.
Yes.
Sorry, that was a weird reference.
Yes. No, it's okay.
You know, I thought at one point during this movie, after all the puppies escape and they're like running across the river and stuff like that, trying to get back home, is that there were so many of them that they looked like rats running through.
No, they didn't.
and when they were jumping in through the hole to get out of that scary Cruella Deville house, they look like little rats.
No.
Like
They
a
were
river of
little
rats.
cute little puppies.
I had to bite my tongue a couple times thinking like, ooh, they're puppies. I love puppies. They're not scary animals.
There's a lot
What?
of them.
Oh, no, I agree. Because I think that they could only do so much to get so many little moving things happening on the screen
Right.
that it looked a little...
That's a little creepy.
A little creepy.
You know how
That made me squirm.
was it last week? I think it was last week or the week before that we had the hashtag nays before bays.
Yeah, it was last
All
week.
I can think of is dogs before hogs, and that doesn't make any sense.
Are you trying to
I mean-
call ladies or men hogs? Like who
No,
hogs?
just before pigs. I'd rather have the dogs.
All right. I will tell you though that today I found a meme about Disney horses,
Aha.
and it's literally
Who are
all.
the horses?
Oh God. Okay. So Samson was from last week from Sleeping Beauty. The horse from the Aristocats. Now I can't remember her name, but she was pretty BA too.
Yeah,
I can't
she
remember.
was.
The one that was like kicking
Yeah.
the guy in the
The
face.
butler.
Now I don't know who this. There's a lot of horses here. Okay. There's Mulan's horse.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
It's not Mulan's horse. It's
it's
Shang's
Yeah.
horse.
Yes.
But she rides him at one point. Pegasus, another gray horse that I don't know. Bullseye, and then
Right.
Maximus. Like those are a lot of horses, and it literally says horses, everyone's favorite characters since 1959.
nice.
And I was
Yeah.
like, truth though, these horses are the best.
Horses.
No,
Nays before
seriously,
bays.
Nays before bays, guys.
Nays before bays.
I
What
dig
he
it.
said.
I dig it.
So
Give us the info, Andre.
Money, 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 money.
This movie
Money.
was it wasn't just like one of the highest grossing Disney movies at the time, but it was the highest grossing movie in 1961.
Shut up.
Wow.
It cost $4 million to make, and it made $14 million. And that was the
Whoa.
highest grossing movie in 1961. But over the course of its life,
Hold on. How much did not Cinderella, how much did Sleeping Beauty make? Because didn't you say
I don't
that
know.
that one wasn't that much?
I
thought we threw out like 51 billion or something.
because like when I
Over
look
time.
when I look these
Ooh.
up, yeah, it aggregates all the data from its
From,
entire
like, its entire
run.
life.
Okay.
So like 101 Dalmatians in its entire run has made $215 million because it's been released at least 4
They
times
put it
in
in
the
the
US.
vault. They take it out of the vault.
And then they put
And
it
it's
back
a
in theaters.
special
and then
edition.
trust,
Here's
it's in the vault right now.
Yes.
You know?
Mhm.
Oh, I bet it is.
It is. That's why we couldn't find it.
And then let's release special edition. You know, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
to
yeah.
And then
make money.
who knows how many times they do that in like foreign markets as well.
Right,
so,
right.
So the Sleeping Beauty numbers from last week may have been fudged a little bit just because it's kind of hard to find that particular data.
Oh, I'm sure. No, and I'm sure because it depends on the demographics that you're looking at. If it's everything,
Right.
just-
Exactamundo. But yeah, this movie made them a bunch of money. Like before this, they were thinking about shutting down the entire animation department. But
No.
Wow, that would have been sad.
but not no longer.
That's a good thing.
They
The
kept-
Good thing they
dogs.
didn't.
They kept making them.
It's all because of dogs. It's all because of dogs. Everybody likes dogs. Yeah, dogs are better than cats. Yeah.
Are you making up a song or?
Kid or
just
cat people.
You see Luis just fluffed my hair.
Yeah, because he was confused about that song.
Anyways, what is this Rotten Tomato?
I hope it's not rotten. It best be
Rotten
super.
tomato.
I don't believe.
Just wants to
Oh
say it
yeah,
in
there's
an
that
accent.
live act. Oh, I wanted to see
What?
the poster for that live action you were just.
You
on.
do not want to see.
Nice.
You don't want to see the non-fresh score that it got.
The live action?
It was like in the 30s or
Yeah, I
something.
Well,
believe the
y'all are
live
tripping. It's
action.
great.
I looked it up today and was like,
Ugh.
oh.
But it's also because you know how you can grow up on a crappy movie, you still love it. So
Sure.
True.
it is what it is.
That is very true. But this movie on Rotten Tomatoes from 1961 received the score of 98%.
Boom.
Whoa.
Is that the highest one that we've seen so far?
No, Moana had 99, I think.
You might be
Yeah,
right.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, Moana's pretty good.
I think that's
Deserved. But yeah, this film was very highly rated at the time.
Oh.
Oh, Moana only had a 96.
I thought we had a 99. I just
101
can't remember
Dalmatians.
like
Maybe
what
it was
is.
Toy Story. I don't know. I'm not looking all these up.
Oh, you don't
Uh,
want to look up every single movie that we've done? You don't want to look up all 30 other than this one?
Let's do it.
Yeah, this movie was very highly rated even at the time. Some of the reviewers were saying that like it wasn't like the most classic Disney movie that they've ever seen, but it was like a very refreshing and fun take on
It is.
Well,
It's
and
all
that's
because
kind of
of
what we were
Roger.
saying is
Right.
that it's not the characters seemed okay. Besides Cruella, the characters were more relatable. they actually kind of like, we didn't even really
fun.
talk about Anita and Roger's relationship, but
Right.
they were one of the first characters, to me at least, that fell in love in a more traditional way.
Yeah.
Even though the story like moved along very quickly, they went from like their kind of first
Meeting
like
in the park.
meeting to getting married.
Yeah.
You could tell that it was like, it was more normal people,
Right.
not just like, oh, I saw him and I love him. He's
a Yeah. prince.
You know,
It was
oh
fun.
my gosh, you know. They
Married today.
they obviously waited a week. Okay, good
At
for them.
least a week.
We waited a couple years to have a Dalmatian plantation. That's fine.
But I mean, that's more normal for
It is.
people, and it isn't classic. But I think that it was refreshing, like they
Right.
said, and there was so much fun involved.
Yes. That's very
Roger,
fun.
hands down, made
he's
the movie.
hilarious.
God, it's so good.
Pongo
All right.
getting Roger like the first meeting with Anita was very funny. He like stole his hat and then put the hat on.
Well,
the bench.
first off, he changed
Hilarious.
the time on the
That's
clock. He made it 5 o'clock because he knew that Roger would not leave unless it was time to go.
Let's be real. As much as Pongo wanted his pet to have a mate, Pongo just wanted to get at Perdita.
He thought Perdita
He was like, "Let's
Perdita.
go.
we
Let's
gotta
get it."
we gotta get up on this.
They're
Roger,
so cute
let's
together.
go.
I love them.
But yeah, he
Stop
stole the
writing
hat.
songs, Roger.
I don't know if you guys spoke about this, but didn't his Cruella Deville song was bought and played all across
Yep.
the country?
Yeah.
Where
she
the
knew.
heck is Cruella Deville when this is going on?
Well,
Why
she
isn't
crashed her car and she's too busy steaming to listen to the radio, I guess.
Is she really?
Probably, yeah. If she's listening to music, she's listening to like heavy metal in the car.
Like,
I don't know.
yes,
We'll have to watch the second movie. I can't remember the
Did they
second
have heavy metal in the
listening
30s?
to Deathlock
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
one.
Probably not.
Heavy metal jazz.
Oh my gosh.
Boop,
What is that?
It's Cruella Deville metal.
metal
Well,
with some scatting in the background.
our men right now need to take a nap.
Skip it up.
Puppet.
Bottom beep.
Why do we love them? I don't know. Anyway.
All right, you guys, let's rate this movie.
Yeah, you go first, sir.
Get out of here.
You old jazzy tater tot.
I think I'm gonna give this movie like a solid
A solid. Oh,
solid 8. It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. It was nice and short. I appreciate that in some of these movies sometimes.
My favorite part about them is that they're short. I won't even lie. It's so nice.
It was a quick hour and 19 minutes. Boom.
I'm still laughing about the scatting.
About what?
Skip it a wee bop. 8.5. Wait, no, 8.
no, you
Excuse
said
me.
8.
An 8.
Luis, go.
8.5.
8.5.
Stop it. We're not gonna get any listeners to come to our meetup next week.
Having a meetup.
Or this week.
This
Gosh,
week.
it's on Friday.
Friday, June 1st.
More
I'm
bowling for me.
whatever.
Yes.
I'm gonna give this movie an 8. I think if Cruella was as good as I thought she was before I watched
she
it
was
and
like-
was reminded that she wasn't really that great, I probably would have given it higher.
She was like a little bit more charming.
Yeah.
There's zero charm.
No charm.
An 8.
She's
It's such a
ugly.
fun
Her
movie.
outfit's ridiculous. Her driving is horrendous.
I
love fuzz. I just love them.
Her facial features scare the crap out of me.
She's the worst.
At one point when she's driving, her eyes like turn red and have like little targets in them. Ugh. It's scary.
She reminds me of the Doom character from Roger Rabbit.
Ew.
Like
Oh, yeah.
when her eyes do that, it
Yes.
reminds me of
Gross.
Doom.
Mhm.
All right, Emily.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
8.5.
Nice.
8.5.
This movie got good ratings.
It was fantastic. I enjoyed it a lot.
So,
Ratings from us.
If there was, I'll tell you that the one thing that would have made it into a 9 was one more good song.
Yeah.
it did need more songs, and I needed Cruella to be better.
It didn't bother me that there wasn't like singing. I'm actually cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, not every movie has to be a like full on musical, but one more song, especially even if it was like a slow
One
song.
more song.
Oh my gosh! Actually, it's funny that
Not
you say
that song.
If it was a song while they were traveling, like the puppies traveling song.
There was supposed to be a song in there when the puppies hop into the truck
Yes.
about them leaving. I'm trying to find the name of it.
That's exactly where it would have been fine at any of those transitional moments, because there was a lot of traveling, and I appreciate that because it showed the distance that they had to travel. But like Sometimes you need a little transition song. You need a little like on the
One
road
more
again.
song.
No,
It was
no,
called.
not
It was
one
going to be
more
called March of the 101.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We needed to like ease on down the road.
We're
marching.
We're marching.
Yep.
100 by 1. That's not the,
Oh Lord.
not the lyrics.
No, I don't know.
On the open road.
Exactly. That was
Yes.
a transitional song.
Boom.
Yep. So, what do we have going on Friday, guys?
We have our first bowling night.
Yay!
Meet up at the bowling alley.
We're meeting up in Modesto, California. So if you're around, check out our Instagram page, find where we're going to be, and go there.
I'm totally gonna do that move from that bowling movie that was on Disney Channel, where she had like a split and then she had to spin the ball and then she got both of them.
I tried that, failed miserably.
Alley cats.
Did not
Alley
even go
cats,
down
yes.
like halfway through. It's pretty
Nah,
hard to
it's
do.
Have you guys
Real.
ever been bowling with Luis?
Nope.
No.
Luis has a very unorthodox bowling style.
Oh, I cannot wait.
And it's funny because the first time you watch him, and I'm gonna tell everyone right now, the first 3 balls he throws, he'll get like a gutter ball, and you're gonna
Okay.
be like, he is insane.
Right.
And then after that, it's gonna be like strike. He just has to
Really?
like get into the mode.
Got to get in the groove.
It's because it's a weird throw. So I'm just telling you now, you guys are gonna be like, wow, Louis crazy.
Oh, I'm getting gutters, that's for sure.
no,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm getting good.
Oh, I'm a getting him gutters.
Them
Getting
gutters
them
gonna
good.
get got.
I just
If
really
I
like
break
bowling.
100,
though.
I'm happy. That's usually.
Oh yeah, no, that's where I hang out for sure.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun though because, as most of you know, we live in Turlock, and the Turlock Bowling Alley should be opening soon. It's brand new. We can't wait.
Yes.
But for now, we'll hang out at Yosemite Lanes.
Yeah.
Yay! I
We
can't wait.
gon'
We already know a bunch of we know of a bunch of listeners that are coming. So if you are still planning on coming, make sure you comment on our post on Instagram so we can get a head count. I can't wait.
Yay!
Yay!
Also, we want to thank everyone who participated in our huge giveaway that ended on
Yes.
Friday.
Woo!
We are very, very excited. We also want to say thank you to the shops that participated and everyone who gave super cute Pixar.
Theme.
So cute.
themed
I
items.
need those ears.
I know the
I
ears.
want
came,
that tote bag.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that too.
Ready?
Everything.
Ears came from the Ear Emporium. The tote bag came from That So Brittany. We have pins, brooches that
Brooches.
brooches that came from the Old Mouse shop.
You're British now.
Put those brooches on your britches.
You don't put them on your britches. You put them on your shirt.
It's funnier when you say it like that, though.
Oh.
It's funnier when you put
goodness.
your brooches on your britches. And then a T-shirt from the Nerd Love shop.
Woo!
Which
Boom.
I also
Yes.
need because it has a dog on it.
So yes, the winner will be announced at the very, very, very end of this episode.
So keep listening.
Boom.
Yes.
Also,
Tell
May-
them about June.
May is over and it's gonna be June.
It's gonna be June. Michelle.
It's gonna be June.
Ah, thank you.
So, June.
I was laughing at your.
It's gonna be June. What did I do? Ooh, my favorite NSYNC song ever.
I just got this song stuck out of my head.
Don't wanna
And now it's
lose.
back. I
It's
did
funny
this.
that you just said that though. I want to say something before you move on. I was going to pose this question today, and maybe this is a question for obviously another time, but doing these weekly podcasts, we watch obviously a lot of movies, and some movies stick with me more than others, and I'll be singing the songs freaking 3 weeks later, and I
Oh,
kind of want to
yeah.
like punch you when I see you because I feel like it's your fault. It's totally not your fault. But
my fault.
no, not your fault. Andre's fault. Luis's fault. I'm just like, oh my god, Hercules is still in my head.
Oh,
I know it
it's
wasn't
not
that
in my
long
head
ago.
anymore.
Oh no, it's still stuck in
It
there.
faded.
Hercules is
But
there.
it was a good 2 weeks after because did we go see No, it was still in my head because we went to go see Deadpool 2 this weekend, and I was in the car and singing Hercules
Yeah.
on the way there.
Bless my soul, Hercules on a roll.
It's funny
Yeah,
because
I did say that.
Like I think it's because I do the Instagram page so much, so I see so much like stuff just
Content.
popping up.
Yeah.
And one of the shirts there was a shirt from Rock Paper Sisters, and it said, it said, what did it say? It said, along came Zeus. And so in my head, I'm like,
He hurled his
I want that
thunderbolts.
shirt. Oh my God, can we wear that to Disneyland next
yes,
time?
yes. And literally every time I did exactly what Andre did.
Well, I
He
can't-
hurled his thunderbolts and zap. I mean, literally, it's a musical in my
But
house
that's
all
one
the
of those
time.
shirts you would wear, and then like a real Disney fan one time if they read your shirt and then went, "He hurled his thunderbolts." Like you'd be walking around the park and people would just be singing to you.
So funny.
That'd be
so
magical.
funny.
Also, it was that darn meme you posted with Herc on a roll. So every time I saw that meme, I was
Somebody's-
like, "Bless my soul."
Somebody sent
Herc
that to
was on a
us.
roll.
So I actually stole that from Jennifer Diaz, who I follow on my personal account, and then we were following her on the Walt Vault, and I saw it, and I commented back. I was like laughing. I'm like, it's Herc on a roll, and she goes, "Why are you the only person who knew what that was?" And I was like, "Oh no, I gotta copy this on the Walt Vault page."
Babe, Andre,
What?
I can't think of it right now, but it was like, what's that song? And then there was like all these memes of things on things, and it was to that 80s song.
It was all
Things
these
on
memes of things on things.
It was like
and it was an
on
80s
something.
song.
It was like riding. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna find it and then I'm gonna tell you guys and post it because that Herc on a roll. It reminded me of that. It was an 80s song, and you sing the main line, and it's all of these things on things, and you keep. You know what I'm talking
I remember
about?
what you're talking about, but I can't remember what the song is or the
It's
melody.
so funny.
And now,
I don't know what you mean, but my favorite always is Janir Jafar. Wherever you are. That's still my favorite. But
Yeah,
ooh, now I want to see what you're talking about.
One of my friends,
I'm gonna find it.
Andrew, sent us the "Bless My Soul." Herc was on a roll. Before
Herc
we
is on a
before he
roll,
had posted
guys.
it.
Oh, well, I appreciate that he sent it as well. So we have all kinds of people sending us Hercs on rolls.
Send us
That's
memes,
fantastic.
guys.
Yeah,
We
guys, send
like
us
it.
Disney memes. We love
So I want to talk about what we're doing in June.
Yeah,
Because
sorry,
Yes.
we totally
I-
got away from that.
I know that's typical.
Because
us,
it's
though.
gonna be June. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's full circle.
On June 23rd,
What?
Pixar Pier is opening.
Oh, okay.
What?
I was like, that's not what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
On June 23rd, Pixar Pier is opening at Disney's California Adventure. So we decided we're going to have lots of cool themes going on in the summer, but our first summer month is going to be Pixar themed because Pixar Pier is going to open.
It's
Yeah,
Pixar
yeah.
So
Fest.
we're kind of running a little skim on our Pixar movies left because we keep watching
There's
them
still
all.
plenty of them left.
There's plenty of sequels to watch.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be fun. But we are starting you off, y'all, with a banger. The bangiest of banger movies. Monsters Incorporated.
Your face.
Bangarang. Bass. Bow, wow. And then Skrillex plays. That's what happens.
Oof, man. Having a whole adventure in your mind. Yes, Monsters Inc.
I wish whatever was happening in
Hey.
your head right now is happening in my head because I
There's
just
like
hear
little
silence.
fireworks and things going off.
No, I hear Herc on a roll.
Monsters Incorporated is happening, which I know Emily's been waiting a long time for.
I have. I'm super excited. I love all things monsters,
Yes.
Yay.
including
Monsters.
including Luis.
Oh,
He
ain't
walked
here.
outside, so he
He
didn't
went
get
to
to
go
hear that
take care
one.
of the baby, so
He's
he
a-
don't hear that.
He's a nice monster.
He's a nice monster.
So yes, Monsters Inc. will be next week. Check us out then. We'll talk about it. You can also check us out by going to the Instagram page. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So hit us up on social media. Send us memes to our DMs. We love memes. I want you to send them to us. Or you can send us an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. We may read your message on the show. You guys are doing really great about sending me emails in the past few weeks. Been dry. I've been sad again. Don't make Andre sad. Send me some emails. We would love you guys to subscribe to the show. If you're not already, go to iTunes, go to YouTube, go to Google Play, go to Stitcher, go to any of these podcast places and hit the subscribe button. We'd also love you to leave us a review or a rating. That would be great. 5 stars is my favorite amount of stars. You should pick that one. If you want to support us in a more monetary kind of way, you can go to patreon.com/thewaltvault. And for as little as $1 or more, you get access to our after show, A Crack in the Vault. It's very fun. Go there, do that. You can also support us by just shopping on Amazon. Go to waltvaultpod.com/Amazon. You can hit the shop on Amazon button, shop like you normally do. We'll get a small portion of your purchase at no extra cost. to
I
you.
remember it. Whoa, we're halfway there.
Whoa!
Whoa, chicken on a pear. Chicken on a pear. So So there's like all these.
Keep going.
There's all these memes, and then it'll just be like a picture of a chicken on a pear, and all it says is "whoa" at the top, and then you see it. And so there's like different memes of objects on objects.
Oh, we're halfway
It's really
there.
funny.
Whoa.
So instead of living on a prayer, it's
lizard on a stair.
Yeah, and there's one. It's like I don't know, potato on a bear. It's like oh,
Monkeys in the air.
it's so funny.
okay.
It's too late. I'm
I'm
leaving.
laughing because you're laughing.
Sign us off.
But I thought it
guys-
was going to be Disney.
Nope,
It does
not at all.
have anything
Not
to do
even
with
a little
An
bit.
80s song.
it. Could have still been Disney. I don't know.
Woody pulling hair. You guys, that's been it for this week. We will see you next time. The vault is now closed.
And the winner of our huge Instagram giveaway is Disney by Mackenzie. At Disney by Mackenzie on Instagram, you have won our giveaway. Thank you so much for entering. Hit us up on our Instagram DMs, and we can send you all your winnings. Thanks again. Bye.